Hi everyone! Fossils are fascinating because they provide information of ancient life and the geologic past. We have said that perhaps one of geology's main contributions to human knowledge is a scientific interpretation of what has happened in the distant past, including the apparition of life on Earth and the evolution of species. In part, we know all of that about the history of ancient life because it is documented in what we know as the fossil record. So let's learn today about it. I hope you enjoy it and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Fossils are the remains or traces of ancient life and constitute what we call the fossil record. Paleontology is the branch of geology that studies fossils. In our video dealing with geologic time, I will place the link in the description below, we learned that fossils are useful in relative age dating of rocks and to correlate strata of similar ages by using a fundamental principle in geology. It is called the principle of faunal succession. In addition to being important and often essential tools for correlation, fossils are important environmental indicators. During the early years of geology, biostratigraphy using the principle of faunal succession and superposition of layers played a fundamental role in determining the relative age of rocks. But what is the fossil record? It is the history of ancient life as documented by fossils, the remains or imprints of organisms from earlier geological periods preserved in sedimentary rocks. It constitutes the primary source of information on the ecology and evolution of extinct taxa. Also, it has provided the time scale for evolutionary history of many taxonomic groups, particularly those with more fossilization potential, such as those species with easily preserved skeletons, as we discussed in previous videos. Of those we know a lot regarding environmental distribution and stratigraphic ranges. It is just because they are more abundant in the fossil record, but those that did not make it are perhaps even more abundant in number. Thus, the fossil record is also made of multiple gaps due to the unique set of special conditions required for fossilization. In geology and geologic time, the fossil record present in sedimentary rocks and the principle of faunal succession form the basis of the science of biostratigraphy, or determining the age of rocks based on the fossil content of a particular stratum. The geologic time scale was originally developed based on these fundamental principles that can now be refined by using radiometric dating methods. Fossils and the fossil record have sparked interest since early human history. Observations started from the early Greeks, including Aristotle's interpretations of fossilized remains of some animals. Fast forward, and notably among others was the famous French naturalist Georges Cuvier, who came to believe that most, if not all, the animals' fossils he examined were remains of extinct species. Cuvier became an active proponent of the doctrine known as catastrophism, a geological school of thought still prevalent in the scientific community. He believed that fossils were the remnants of previous existing worlds, and that the remains of extinct animals are the evidence to support the existence of a world that previously existed. He postulated that the past worlds came to an end and were destroyed by some catastrophic events. The fossil record was expanded during the early 19th century. Remarkable pioneers during that era include Mary Anning in Britain, her work on the Mesozoic sediments of the Jurassic coast in Dorset, and her dedication led to significant contributions in the field of paleontology. Her work led to the discovery, among others, of the first complete ichthyosaur and a complete plesiosaurus skeleton. Her effort left a legacy that continues to spark both public and scholarly interest. Early naturalists such Georges Cuvier, Charles Darwin, and Alfred Russell Wallace, among others, well understood the similarities and differences of living species, leading Karl Linneo to develop a hierarchical classification system still in use today. Darwin and his contemporaries first linked the hierarchical structure of the tree of life with the then very sparse fossil record and went on to describe a process of descent with modification or evolution, whereby organisms develop adaptations to survive in their natural environment. Since Darwin's time, we have made significant progress in the refinement and understanding of the fossil record. Back then, the oldest fossils were those from the Cambrian period, now known to be about 540 million years old. Notably, he was aware of the absence of other fossils and the implications of the lack of evidence of gradual changes in animals on the validity of his postulates about evolution. He remained open-minded and fully aware of the fact that back then, and to some extent today, only a small portion of the world is known with accuracy, as he stated. Following Darwin's observations, the fossil record has been extended further back to between 2.3 and 3.5 billion years. Furthermore, the ages of fossils have been quantitatively calibrated with the advent of radiometric dating and extended further back into the Precambrian. Precambrian fossils are mostly made up of microscopic bacteria or microfossils. Radiometric dating has shown that the earliest known stromatolites, for example, are over 3.4 billion years old. More recently, macroscopic fossils are known from the late Proterozoic. Notable examples are the Ediacaran fauna, depicting a diverse assembly of early multicellular eukaryotes. What we call the fossil record actually is full of gaps. Despite significant advances in uncovering and identifying paleontological specimens, it is generally accepted that the fossil record is vastly incomplete. However, it continues to contribute otherwise unattainable information on the emergence and development of life on Earth, and is still a fascinating topic that continues to piece together the history of the miracle we call life in our own planet. Nowadays, paleontology has joined with evolutionary biology for a more holistic approach in understanding the record of life on Earth. It has contributed to further down back in time the record of life on Earth, expanding it into the Precambrian, the apparition of microscopic life when cell structure and functions evolved. Further down into the Proterozoic and deeper still in the Archean, the record of life on Earth is recounted by microscopic fossils and subtle chemical signals depicted from the rocks. It is indeed amazing to realize that we have come this far in our understanding of life on Earth and its ongoing and evolving journey. Thank you for watching up to this point. I hope this video contributes to increasing your admiration and amazement of our planet and the history of life on Earth. Please let me know in the comment box, what is that thing that you find the most fascinating about the fossil record, and more importantly, why? About myself, I like how paleontologists can understand how entire populations of animals recover following mass extinction events. Why? Well, because in the fossil record we can see how life is relentless in adapting to new conditions or new ecological niches. I think that Charles Darwin would be glad to know about that and have that record too. And you? Please let me know in the comment box and I will do my best to answer all of them. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in our next video. Ciao!